Welcome to Velocity Podcast. Today I have Vanessa the Mortgage Broker here with us. All of a sudden you exploded and I see you everywhere. I see you in person, I see you online, you're doing a ton of great stuff, you have a lot of great content, and we just wanted to kind of dive into that. So welcome to Velocity.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really different sitting in the opposite chair. Usually I'm leading these conversations and now I'm coming in and being the guest. So
yeah, I know it's a different feel when you're the guest. It's like, oh. All right. Well, I'm so grateful to have you on, and let's just dive right into it. Okay. Tell me about your journey. So you've been doing mortgage brokering for how many years now?
So I've been in the mortgage industry for about over 15 years. I just don't want to give away my age, And I have been brokering for just shy of 3 years now. And about a year and a half ago, I would say I really dived into the social media aspect of the business.
Yeah.
One thing that people don't tell you when you go out on your own is that you're actually running two businesses, not one. The one that you actually know what you're doing, and then the other one where you have no clue.
Yeah.
So you enlist some help, and hopefully that fits right away, and it's not a struggle to try and figure out what your strategy is going to be going forward.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so tell me right off the bat, if someone sits down in the seat opposite to you and you're looking at their things and you're like, oh my gosh, what are 3 mistakes people are doing to get approved nowadays?
To get approved?
Yeah. Or making it a lot harder to get approved.
Making it a lot harder on themselves by taking advice off of TikTok.
TikTok advice, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they may be getting advice and it may be correct, but that might be in a different country.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other portion would be not using a professional. There's a reason that you come to somebody for the help in that industry.
Yeah.
It would be the same if you were to try and sell a house, if you were to, try and make chef-made meals. You go to different places for that expertise. And I think commonly people make it more difficult on themselves in spending more time thinking that they can get the answers themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is my job to make sure that I am educated and up to date, not only on regulatory changes that happen often in the mortgage industry, because we have to, follow the Bank of Canada rules.
Yep.
And then on top of that, we've got FSRA, who is our regulator.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it goes a little bit further than that, because we've got, let's say, over 50 lenders. I mean, I don't use 50 lenders, but I have access to over 50 lenders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to me to know the policy changes.
Yeah.
So, one lender might have a sliding scale that's completely different from another lender. Mm-hmm. When I say sliding scale, just not to misinform anyone, but if the mortgage amount the value of the home is going to be over $1 million, it's not just a steadfast, here's the percentage that will allow you to borrow.
Okay.
It then becomes, on the first $1 million, it's up to 80%, and then on the next 500, it could be up to 75%, but every single lender is completely different.
Yeah.
So when you're taking in that file, you want to take into consideration not just the amount that they can borrow, but also the terms and conditions and the penalty calculations, because oftentimes people sit in front of me and they go, oh yeah, I'm not moving, I'm not making any changes for 5 years, at least. And I'm going, well, that's nice that you think that, but on average, the Canadian household makes a structural change to their mortgage, whether that's, they have to move for work, or they need to upsize, or they need to downsize. So those penalty calculations are crucial. Mm-hmm. So when they're going on there and they're saying, oh, I can get a rate, and I'm just going to use this as of today, I can get a rate of 4.79. Sure you can.
Yeah.
But they're not giving mortgages for free.
Yeah, exactly.
There is something on the back end, and they are going to make sure that they're going to make as much interest, if not more, than that lender that you would have signed with in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
So was that 3 or 10?
That's a lot. That's good. And honestly, it's good to know, because I think every business has the DIYers.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you have these people going on social, and social is so accessible to anybody. So anyone can be an expert.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, especially to me with such a big purpose, such a big purchase, all this legal framework, I would be very hesitant to be taking my advice from social media. Like, I want to speak to an expert who can like understand my situation and look at us face to face and be like, okay, here's what's best for you.
Yeah.
And I think that is worth the value of anything.
Yeah, and I think with social media, I mean, like anybody can just, jump onto social media and be like, here's a quick tip of the day.
Yeah.
But the reason that I went into kind of more of the podcast side of things is like to give valuable content and information that they can use. Like, I don't want them going on TikTok getting misinformation.
Yeah.
So it was important to me to have a platform where people could get information that's useful.
Yeah. Okay, that's the perfect segue. So you've been doing this for 15 years, but the last year and a half you've exploded. And like I said, I feel like you're at every single event I'm at. You have this podcast. You have a lot of cool things going on. Do you want to talk about just your journey into deciding to take digital marketing seriously? Because if anyone watches me, I'm always like, take it seriously, be consistent, get on there. You will grow. You will like challenge yourself, and it's hard and it's time consuming, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
So you want to just talk about your journey, like what made you to decide to take it seriously?
Well, I think as an entrepreneur, I look at it and go, I wouldn't just go online and get a mortgage, or I advise people not to.
Yeah.
And so why would I then take that same advice and then turn around and use Canva with ChatGPT and try to do it myself, right? Like, that's not what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow the people who are good at it to help me along in that journey. And I think the more results, I'm going to say, because they're very intangible when it comes to social media.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about that. But consistency in the sense that, I have a podcast that's happening every month. There's shorts that come from that. Then there's, I'm always out in the community. And so when I say consistency, I don't just mean on social media. I mean, when you say that you're going to attend events and you're going to be out in the community and you're going to be supporting the community, you best have your butt out there and be doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've seen so many people that are like, oh, our community and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, I have not seen you once.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just at different events, so maybe I shouldn't be calling anyone out. But I do try to stay consistent. Like Ladies Who Lead, I am there every single month. I'm on the executive board. Nova Vita, I've always just been a very big part of. And it's important to me that if I'm going to associate myself with these organizations, that I do what I say and I'm going to do.
Yeah, 100%. I love that because it's the in-person and digital. Like, as much as I love digital, there's something about, especially when you live in a town and you're servicing the people that live around you, like locally, being in front of them, being face-to-face, pouring into the community, whether it's Nova Vita or any other organizations. Yeah. And I also think, on a whole separate note, that's why small business is so important, because when people say small business is the backbone of society, it's stuff like this. Yeah. So thank you on behalf of all women everywhere. But honestly, for the people of Brantford, because it's really important to be doing that. Okay, so do you remember, was there like a specific point in time, or did you start kind of like just dabbling into like the podcast idea or the social media stuff, or were you like, okay, that's it, come May 1st, I'm going all in?
I'm just going to say that I kind of let things go and left it to the people who can take care of it.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So how hands-on are you? Like, by let things go, do you like have a monthly meeting, or are you just like, here's a bunch of pictures of me, do what you will?
Well, no, not quite. Because if you know me at all, I am a huge control freak. Okay. That's probably why I'm in the industry that I'm in. But it was just being vulnerable in the sense of like getting in front of a camera. Yeah. Like, that for me at the beginning was just terrifying. Yeah. Like, even today, just sitting on this side of the podcast, I'm like, ooh, like, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm used to leading the conversation and it being, like, knowing what the conversation is going to lead into. Yeah. So, yeah, it was really just going, okay, this part I'm not good at. I'm spending way too much time on it. And I need to be doing the things that make money.
Yeah. That is seriously my strategy. I tell that to people all the time. I'm like, don't waste, if you're not, like, I don't waste my time doing my own accounting. Why? I hate it. I'm bad at it. I procrastinate because of those two things. And then what happens? I spend so much time working on something that doesn't naturally come to me that I'm spending my time there instead of being in front of clients, making money, making sales.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like a math problem. You want more sales, stick to that. Let other people do what you're like lacking in. And that's the beauty of hiring people. You hire out your weaknesses.
So where I'm able to take back a little bit of the control, because you know that part of me where I can't let it all go, is I am very, very involved in the strategy portion of like what is going to be coming up next.
Okay.
So if you are, seeing something that I posted today, it's likely already been in progress 2 months ago.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Do you sit down like quarterly? Do you sit down weekly, monthly? How do you figure this out?
Yeah, so we sit down monthly and kind of go through, what's happening in the market right now, because things are changing all the time, right? Yeah. So it's like sometimes even when we have a whole strategy in place for, let's say, the next 3 or 4 months, I'm able to call and just say, you know what, like this actually just came up like last week, and it's something that I really need to like get out there and talk about, because things are changing all the time. Like we just had the announcement last week that the high ratio insurers, so Canada Guarantee, Sagen, and CMHC, that they're going to be offering 30-year amortizations for first-time buyers if it's a new build. Like that's information that I need out there now.
Yeah.
But we're able to work within, kind of what's already been strategized and kind of work in what we need to along the way, which is really nice. Yeah. The flexibility for me is key because it's always changing.
You know what? Honestly, I love dealing with people who kind of are a little bit hands-off but also involved, because I think that's when you get the best content, because you let the people who are good, and that's Frankie, she's in the corner, you can't see her, but let them do what they are really, really good at with the insight that you have in your own industry.
Yeah.
And like, it's your brand, your face, your voice. And again, that goes back to the ChatGPT, Canva thing. You want it to be customized to you because that's who people will connect with.
Well, and I mean, like, there's some content that's put together, and like, we go through language and spelling, and, like, I want to make sure that exactly what's being put out there, somebody who's reading it goes, oh, yeah, Vanessa wrote that. That's Vanessa's language. That's how Vanessa speaks. That's how she portrays herself personally and in business.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be ingenuine.
Yeah, that makes sense. And your brand voice is, again, the differentiator in a crowded marketplace.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about, you do a podcast. Yeah. And I love that. You do what I do. Like, you build your podcast. That's like the top of the funnel. And then from...
So because I'm in the community a lot, it's not always just mortgage information, but it's also to show those in the community that I am doing what I said I'm doing, right? Yeah. So there's content pieces when I'm, doing a presentation at Ladies Who Lead. I had an open house in November inviting clients and industry partners. And, that was a great way to showcase like the people that I have around me. Yeah. And the relationships that I've built over the years are not only ones that they can trust with me, but with them as well. And then most recently, I actually hosted a wealth and real estate summit with other leaders in their industries. It was quite interesting how it all came together, because we were the collaboration was key. Yeah. Right? And we were all there for the same reason. And it was to get information out in each of our industries and why it's so important for when you're looking at a mortgage or you want to talk to an accountant, that all of those pieces actually need to come together. Yeah. So I've been collaborating a lot with other people in their respective industries as leaders as well. Yeah. I love collaborating, and like certain people you just seem to get on with better. Like, obviously that's just life, but thanks for having me, Sherri.
I mean, like, so I do the same thing with people in my industry, and there's something about that, like, we always call it a creative combustion. Like, not only did we 2 times the effort and the results, it was like 10 times the result, because it was just just the magic that can happen with a bunch of like-minded individuals who aren't like hiding information and guarding.
Yeah.
Where it's like when you're willing to be like, okay, let's go into this. Here's our goal. We want to educate people. Like for us, it's like we want to make small business in Brantford boom. And we're not in competition because there's over 4,000 small businesses in Brantford. I cannot handle all of that. They cannot handle all of that.
No.
So it's nice to be like, hey, like the 5 of us, let's get together. We're going to do like, we call it a drinking thing. So usually it's like maybe a whiskey tasting or it's at a bar and we drink and we think and we like come up with these cool ideas.
Yeah.
And like I find the people that do that really do explode.
Yeah.
And you're not taking away. It's not like a pizza where you're taking away from people. It's somehow multiplied.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing that you're doing that.
Thank you. And I agree with you. It's the same thing in the mortgage industry. When I went into brokering, it was like, oh my God, like it's a dog-eat-dog world. Mm-hmm. Nobody helps each other. And it has been the absolute opposite. Like I've had actually a number of people in the last couple of weeks. I had somebody like staring at me and they're like, I know you.
That's awesome.
And I'm going, yeah, like maybe we met at an event. Like yeah. Because I make sure that I am staying up to date on education and attending seminars and summits in my own respective industry. And they're like, nope, that's not it. Like and so it was like, let's exchange socials. And she's like, oh, I already follow you. Yeah. Like I watch all of your content. And it's like, okay, so is my content now geared towards people in my own industry? I mean, it's still going to get out there to clients. And obviously that's the biggest focus. But it's nice that people aren't like, oh, that's my client or that's my area, and trying to like guard the information, like you said.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't help anybody.
No.
And I feel the same way. Like when people are like, well, what if they go to so-and-so instead of you? And I'm like, well, maybe it was just a better fit.
Yeah. Right? It's like when they say business isn't personal, that it really is true. You cannot make business personal.
No.
Like, because it's like, it just might be a better fit. I've had clients where I've actually have said like, okay, you're not a good fit for me, but you need to talk to so-and-so.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we don't jive, but.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. So you talked about getting recognized, which is funny because that happens to me sometimes. And I kind of feel like the same thing. I'm like, oh, other digital marketers are watching me too. But I think naturally, because we like that kind of stuff, of course, it's going to go to their algorithm.
Yeah.
But that's why when you're creating content, you have to be very specific and like make sure you're talking to people who need your business as opposed to people in the business. So that would be like a really cool result. So let's talk about your results.
Okay.
When it comes to social media, I find people like immediately want to go viral. And I'm like, none of our businesses are fun enough and cool enough to go viral. Like,
come on, mortgages are fun. No?
So like you might go mini viral, I call it, or maybe you do have a one-off. But even the people who go viral and it goes like millions of views, they don't convert necessarily into sales. So I try to educate a lot of times being like, hey, listen, what you want is your phone to ring, not necessarily like a million views. I'd rather have my phone ring than a million views.
Yeah.
So let's talk about results. How do you find things? Like, are you getting clients? Are you getting the calls? Like, is every post going viral?
Well, no, not every post is going to go viral. Mm-hmm. What I will say is that because when we're going through strategy, we're always looking at like what worked, what didn't work. And a lot of the content that I am posting, people are actually watching through. So maybe I'm not getting as many views, but I have more people that are going, okay, like she knows something.
Yeah.
And sitting there and waiting to see what the next words are going to come out of my mouth. When I had talked about consistency, I guess I should also add in the word patience.
Yes.
Because, and I know a number of people in my own industry, it's like they try this and that doesn't work after 3 weeks. So they jump over to this and then that doesn't work. And quite honestly, I just don't have the time to do that. Yeah. I just had, like I said, I just kind of had to hand it over and go, okay, like hopefully this is going to work. And it has. But I think it's because I've stayed consistent. Yeah. If your branding is changing all of the time, people aren't going to see it and recognize it as you. Yeah, 100%. Right? Mm-hmm. So, like, color schemes, they actually matter. Mm-hmm. Like, when people see you, they associate the color, they associate the wording and, like, the scripture of it. Yeah. So return on investment, I can't actually give you a number, but I can tell you that I've had a number of clients that have come to me because they search for me, or they search for a mortgage broker on Google and it came up right away because I've had so many good reviews. Or I've had clients that are like, oh, I watched your podcast and I just feel like I can really trust you and my mortgage is coming up for renewal. Like that to me is why I'm doing this.
Yeah. That's awesome. The thing is, there was this study, it was called the Fisherman's Friend Study, and it said something about, like, there's, like, concentric circles. So you have, like, strangers, acquaintances, friends, and whatever. Like, so for a stranger to turn into acquaintance, it takes, like, 7 hours or 17 hours, and then it kind of, like, goes down from there. But what they found that was so interesting is, even if it's digital, it still took 7 hours or 17 hours. So my question is, hey, do you have 17 hours of content so they can feel like you're not a stranger, you're someone they know? And the podcast is beautiful, and obviously it's working. So that's kind of like my basis for doing long-form content. And not a lot of people do long-form content because, well, they will, but most podcasts quit after less than 10 episodes. It's rare to actually reach the 10 episode mark. Because it takes work, because it's this, because you want to, like, get the phone calls being like, I watched your podcast and, man, I'm going to use your business. Like,
well, like I said, like, mortgages aren't really sexy. It's just a really hot topic right now with what's going on in the marketplace. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, but I think it's the consistency that's working. Like, it's, you know what? I'm not expecting crazy results. I just have a plan, and I'm going to go forward and move forward with this. And then you will see results when you, like, trust your strategy and just give it time to bloom. So.
Well, and it's been over a year. So it's definitely not 3 weeks and jump into something else. Have we made changes in terms of the strategy along the way? Yes. But the key messaging has always been the same. It's better for me to give good content than, like, it's springtime, what color are you going to paint your walls? Like, nobody cares about that. People want to know what's happening in the industry right now, especially renewals, because there's an insane amount of renewals that are coming up this year, next year, and even bigger in 2026. And people are scared, you know, they locked in for a 5-year fix at 2.5%, and now their mortgage is coming up for renewal and it's double, and now their payments are going to be more, and they've been holding on to, well, let's face it, everything's gone up, right? Like, we've just had the carbon tax increase, and then gas went up last week, and I'm like, oh my God, the sky is falling, like, what's happening here? But people are, like, strapped for cash, so there's a lot of refinancing going on and a lot more pre-planning. So what I mean by that, and I guess I'll leave this part. So the pre-planning part, normally you wouldn't start talking to a mortgage agent, a broker, or the financial institution that you work with until, like, 2 months before renewal. I am working with clients 6, 8, 10 months before renewal because they don't want surprises when it comes up. And oftentimes it's, you know what, even though there's a penalty and you're going to lose that low rate right now, like, you're strapped for cash. You've been using credit cards and lines of credit, and you had to buy a car last year, and, like, and then the expenses on top of that are going up. It's just unmanageable. So people are being a lot more proactive in their finances rather than just signing a piece of paper, which is something that I have been talking about for years. Don't just sign that piece of paper because you are giving up so much in savings. And prior, it was just, it's a bit of savings, but it's not a big deal. And now they're looking at it going, okay, I really need to think about this, because if my mortgage payment is going to go up $600 a month, where is that coming from? It's the same conversation everywhere. Everything's expensive. Taxes are crazy. Carbon taxes, gas, this. Everyone's worried about that renewal. You're totally right. Okay, I'm going to ask you one last question that I forgot to prep you on. This is what I ask all my clients. Okay. What is your career bucket list? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be in mortgages. Maybe you want to be like a movie star. I don't know. So if you're looking at, what's your career bucket list? What do you... Yeah, you definitely did not prepare me for this at all. My career bucket list. Honestly, and it's something that I've like started to try and do, is make this industry better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's not like a monetary value. It's not, I want to be doing, 500 mortgages a year.
Mm-hmm.
I just want this industry to be better.
Awesome.
I want, when somebody says, oh, go to a mortgage broker, people aren't like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
They're there to help you. Like, that's not a negative term anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
mm-hmm.
This industry has become so regulated that there's not a lot of room for this sleazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's people
there's
that
rules
give
in place. That's
industries a bad name,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I think
that's awesome. Well, I think you're already.
And I'd also like
that.
to be a rock star, but I can't sing, so
right.
I don't know what to do about that.
All right, we'll see what happens. AI can probably sort that out eventually. All right, well, thank you. You want to tell people how they can follow you?
Yeah. So the podcast is the Mortgage Broker Podcast. And then also I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on Google, and it's Vanessa the Mortgage Broker.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to put those links in the show's notes and in my YouTube description, but thank you again for watching or listening, everyone. Let me know if you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about mortgages, you know who you need to ask. All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
Before we actually